Sorry, my bad. Hold on, one more thing.
It's all good, man. But welcome back. We gonna watch the language today. We got some people listening. We got some grandmoms listening today, and I don't want to offend anybody, grandmom.
Okay.
But I
Man.
want to
Yes.
welcome back to the. This is the third episode of Let's Not Argue, and somebody getting their Archie Bunker on back there. This is the third episode of Let's Not Argue with myself and Mr. Dope DNA. Real quick, go ahead, plug the restaurant real quick.
Man, go vegan Philly, 401 Fayette Street, Conshohocken, PA. That's 19428 inside the Eisenberg's Deli. Conshohocken, PA, 401 Fayette Street. The same on Facebook and the same on Instagram. Go vegan Philly.
And make sure y'all go ahead and check that out. Hey, brother, I'm going to make my way over there. I haven't been over there yet since you opened. I'll admit to I know I haven't.
Come on, cuz. You got to get over.
I will definitely get over.
Yeah, you know
there.
we got the comedy show. We have the comedy show this weekend.
I love comedy.
Friday starting at 9. And we have the wine and paint event on Saturday that starts at 4, from 4 to 8.
Definitely got to get over there. This is actually been.
Absolutely.
I'm going to let you into a little glimpse into my world right now. This has been a crazy time for me. Honestly, where, of course, I got the radio thing going on and of course, the regular job and baseball. But I've added just this year or late last year, sports commentary to my list of things to do.
Yeah.
And right now, it's high school basketball right now, boys and girls.
Okay.
And right now, it's the playoffs. So it's like I don't have a set schedule right now. It's like it depends on what happens. So it's kind of crazy right now, and I'm going right back into baseball. So, but either way, that's not what the people are here to listen to us about. They're here to listen to us talk about our topic today. And one of the things that we have to talk about today is somebody's fussing at you. Somebody's fussing at you back there. So, we had some things we wanted to talk about today. One of the things we want to talk about was Ricky Smiley. Actually, we don't want to talk about Ricky Smiley, but we are going to talk about Ricky Smiley. He had some comments, and his comment read something like this: the American society villainizes a black man wearing dreads, but is very accepting of a black man in a dress. And I saw this. I said, man, this is definitely a topic for Let's Not Argue, because we're going to talk about it.
Absolutely.
We're not going to argue about it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it intelligently. We're going to open your eyes. You may like it, you may not, but that's, we give it to you straight. When I saw this, I'm going to go ahead and put my thoughts out there first. When I saw that, I said, man, that he ain't lying. He is not lying, because, of course, we had the recent case with the young man in Texas who was basically being kept from his high school graduation, from walking at his high school graduation, from a milestone in his life, because of his hairstyle. His hairstyle, they're not accepting of his hairstyle. He recently made a trip to the Oscars. Some people got caught wind of his story, and they actually invited him to the Oscars. So he did get to walk the red carpet, all well and good. But this milestone in his life, the school is keeping him from that whole thing. So hold on, I'm going to turn you down a little bit, Sean, real quick. I'm going to turn you down a little bit just because there's a lot of background noise there. Okay, I'm sorry. No problem. With that being said, right, how dare, I mean, and it's the society that we live in right now, and it's some of the things that we are trying to change within the society. Unfortunately, that we are not as accepted in the society of things that are within our culture, things that are within our, I don't want to say brand, but I'm going to use the word brand, and you'll see why in a minute. Things that are within our brand as African Americans, as black people. They're not accepting of it until it becomes until one of them takes it over. Case in point, what they call them? What do they call boxer braids? Box braids? No, but not box braids. Boxer braids. Yep. Right. Having braids in the workplace was very unprofessional until I believe it was a Kardashian decided I'm gonna braid my hair just like that and call them boxer braids, because a lot of the women fighters will braid their hair in cornrows and they'll fight like that because it's just easy to work it out that way. That the unacceptance of our culture should be embarrassing to the people that don't accept it. It should be embarrassing,
right?
But when you are, I guess you would say, when you are the privileged, I would say, you're not embarrassed by the things you do until your eyes are really opened up to it. And in this situation, somebody's eyes are not being opened up to the situation, or they're just being stubborn and being one of those people that's like they don't want to say sorry. You know what I'm saying? It's they don't want to accept being wrong. So that's what I have to say about it. I'm gonna give you a chance. I'm sure you're ready to go in on it.
Well, America has never been, accepting of black people, or black men showing any kind of strength, in any area at all. We are, and this has, nothing to do with, homosexuality, anything like that. We love our LGBTQ brothers and sisters, just the same. But this is about, America has always tried to break us. They don't like anything, about us, and we need to come to terms with that, come to grips with that, so we can move on the way we need to move on, and stop trying to get accepted, because this child wouldn't have to put up with this if we had our own. If he was at his own school, if he was at a black school, this wouldn't be the case. But we keep trying to barge our way into their institutions and then cry about what we see in there and the way they treat us. Well, stop barging in and build your own. Now, me personally, I don't care. I don't care what black people want. I don't care if you want to be integrated or segregated. I do not care. But I think it's more about aggregation, being able to pool your people together and your resources whenever y'all need to for the betterment of your people, no matter if you want to be integrated or segregated. Wherever you fall on that stick, it shouldn't matter. You should be able to aggregate now. But we can't, because we are too busy trying to get them to see us how they will never see us. They're never going to see. They brought you here to be the labor class. That's why we're here. We're not here for anything. We're not here for them to like us. We're not here for them to accept us. We're here to be the labor. And guess what? They no longer need our labor anymore. So now what? Now what?
They're definitely not looking for. Yeah, I'm here. They're not looking for us to, thrive in within ourselves.
Yeah, we are right now. We are.
But let me say this, Sean. I'm sorry, and I'm gonna let you get to your point.
Okay.
I'm saying they don't want to see us thrive, but nor do they really. Yeah. I don't feel like they.
I gotta go to my friend's house real quick. I'll be back.
I don't feel like they need to. I don't think it's on them for us. They don't need to see us thrive. Is one of them. They don't need to want to see us thrive. And the reason I say that
we should need to want to see us thrive.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's not up to them. Why? You know what I mean? Look at the American school system, the public this school system. You know, they don't call it the European Eurocentric school system. They call it the standard.
Yes.
They have made themselves the standard. And every day we wake up, we try to meet their standards as if that is something great or something to meet. You know, the agents don't get up trying to meet white people's standards. It's when nobody gets up trying to meet. Just black people, we wake up every day and try to get them to see it. For what? What?
Yeah, absolutely right. And when you say let's take it even further, the standardized tests. Okay.
Okay.
The standardized test.
Standardized test.
And
you understand what I'm saying?
We're about to get into a whole nother topic, but I'm going to go ahead and say what I'm going to say about it. These standardized tests, in a sense, in some way, shape, or form, and I know there are other people that we know that could speak to this better than I could personally. and maybe you can speak to it better than I could. These standardized tests, excuse me, are the way that there's a lot of things wrapped up in these standardized tests, and one of the things is funding for schools, for the schools, right? So the better a student does on these standardized tests, the more funding that they're going to get. The more funding that they get, the more resources that they will have. The more resources they have, the more things the student is exposed to. Okay, the more things you're exposed to, the more you know. The more you know, the better you can do on a test, right? So when you're looking at these standardized tests that are not that are based in the standard, as to what you were talking about, when they're based in the standard, we are not the standard. We are not the standard. There are a lot of school districts that are mainly us that are on the lower end of the spectrum when it comes to funding for schools from states.
Right. And they say this, and then look at what integration did. Integration was basically, the civil rights movement was basically, in a nutshell, the most important component of it to me when I look at it, and this is how anybody should look at it. The civil rights movement was basically saying, we want the right to give y'all our money. We want the right to give you all our money. That's it. It was basically about consumerism. We want the right to consume and throw y'all our money. That's why when you look at it, where did most of the boycotts take place? At lunch counters and storefronts. Lunch counters and storefronts, places where you exchange dollars for goods.
Right. Now,
dollars for goods. Even though we had our own lunch counter, even though we had our own store, we were basically saying we want to throw you our money, right? So now, here we go. You look at whites, Asians, whoever, all other people. We give them our money. They say, you got to work hard. These people are better than you because they work hard. No, they are better than you because they have all your money in their pocket. Okay, now, their children don't have to commit crime. Their children don't have to attend schools where their hairstyle is not accepted. Their children don't have to live in a world or a so-called society where we only accept them when you put the dress on. Because they have our money, so they make all the rules. And then we look back at our people and our community and say, wow, why are we committing so much crime? Because we don't have anything. We give everything to them, so their children don't have to commit crime. They are second, third, fourth, and fifth generation rich kids because of us. They have 99% of our money and 100% of theirs. So now we come back to our neighborhood and look at our children and say, oh, these kids is crazy. No, your parents are crazy because your parents give all of their money to them and save a nickel for their own people. Do you know that? We only spend a nickel out of every dollar with ourselves.
And that nickel doesn't
you can't
recycle in the community.
You can't survive as a people doing that.
Right.
You can't survive. Okay, education is far more than just about go to school and get a job. We give our children no transcendent reason besides go to school for why you get education. You educate for the survival of a people. It's why you go to school and get an education, to ensure the survival of your race, of your people. Not to just go to school and now I have to pray that some other people give me a job in their neighborhood, which they don't have for me, or allow me to be in their school with my dreads, which they won't. Of course, they'll accept the young man with the dress and the young man with the dress, because that shows strength and power. You know, I'm not saying, you know, that the other person is weak physically, but once you do that, you do show a sign of weakness. You do show that. You do. So of course they accept that. Oh, this is really how we want you to be anyway. I mean, in slavery and all those types of, we were having sex with y'all anyway, and having these fantasies and all of this stuff, and you putting on it. Okay, cool. So come on with it. Come on with it. But whether you heterosexual or homosexual, we need all our people. We need them all.
I'm not telling you in order to be with me, you got to be straight or you can heterosexual. You can still be gay, but we need all of our people on one side. We need you all, because that's we're at our strongest when we're that way. The trick of the game is, this is how they trick, to spread us thin. They take a couple, put them over there, call them elite blacks because they might have went to a school and got some degrees. Put them over there. Then we'll put the ones who ain't go to school, we'll put them over there. Matter of fact, we'll take their gays, the black gays, and we'll bring them with us. We'll put them over there. They spread. We spread too thin. We spread all over the place.
So are you saying?
You know,
are you talking about like figuratively or literally? With I'm assuming you're talking about with people living in the community. Is that where you're going with that? Okay. So
absolutely.
Let me ask you this. Let's talk. Now I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish your point. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So this what happened. They will make, just for example, they will make our LGBT community family members think that we don't like them. They don't like you all. They don't like because you're gay. They don't like you, but we like you. Come on with us.
So come on over there.
So they get fooled into they get fooled into that. They don't. Black people don't like gays. Look, they don't like. But guess what? I've been black 40 years. I don't ever. I've had gay people in my family. There were gay people in the church. We didn't beat them up because they were gay. We didn't chase them because we didn't have Thanksgiving dinner and sit them at a different room because they were gay. We didn't have Christmas gifts and put this is for the gay boy on the box. We didn't treat them any different. But somehow we allow others to get in our heads and make you believe that something else is going on when in reality that's not the case. The choir director was gay. The greatest damn choir, nobody can choir direct better than him, and nobody say, "Oh, he's gay, don't let him do it." We always been around the LGBT community in our community, and they didn't get treated any differently, or they didn't get more talked about than anybody else. If we was just jonesing on people, we jonesed on everybody, whether you was gay or straight. Hey, you got on dirty sneakers. I wasn't saying that because you was gay. You know what I'm saying? So they'll throw that out there into the atmosphere, into our community, and then we'll just run with that. And they spread us way too thin. How can we be strong? How can we come together when we got some over there, and some over here? We're not even together. Everybody else got communities. When the Jewish people, Italian, when they send their kids to school, they sending them for the survival of a people. They're learning how to be Jewish, how to keep the Jewish thing strong, how to keep white strong, how to keep Italian strong, how to keep Asian strong, how to keep the Arab community strong. Our kids go to school to do what? Learn how to manage white people problems. Learn how to fix white people problems. But CNN tell you every day, like CNN is telling you right now today, that white people don't have the answers to y'all black problems. CNN tells us that every single day. White people do not have the answers to your problems because white people don't have the answers to their own problems. That's why they want your babies to go to college so they can come over there and get a job and try to fix white people problems. But you ain't fixed black people problems. How you going to fix problems for other people? You ain't fix your roof at your house. You can't fix the neighbor roof. Your roof is leaking.
And that goes into
we got to wake up.
That goes into a plenty. I mean, what you just said is about 4 or 5 miles forward. There's so much I could go. There's so many different ways I was getting ready to go. One thing I do want to talk about, I do want to say in reference to what you were talking about is it happens in every city, every urban area in the United States. Okay, probably I don't know in the world, but I don't know. But I'm talking about gentrification. Okay. And in my area, it's happening here. You can always tell when it's coming. They start to fix the roads up. Okay. They start to tear buildings down and put up nice developments or whatever the case may be.
You see the scaffolding on the building.
Absolutely. You see a lot of that.
And the bike thing. Coffee shop.
They start shutting down the bodegas. I'm going to say the bodegas because maybe not everybody knows what a poppy store is.
That's right, and turn it into a coffee shop.
Right. The property taxes go up and people get priced out, especially when there's older people that are not working.
and I'm not upset for white people for moving how they move. You're supposed to move like that. I'm upset at us because we won't move like that.
And that's where I was going.
We won't move this fast.
That's where I was going with it.
Well, this hate speech. I'm not telling black people to hate white people or hate anybody. I don't have a hate speech. I wouldn't tell you that. Shit. Actually, if I did have a hate speech, I would be wasting my time, because if slavery ain't teach you who to hate and who you should have a problem with, then my speech ain't worth shit. It's nothing more drastic and more severe than slavery. If you couldn't learn from that, and they show you that almost every day, they have a movie come out every year, okay? They show you what they did to you, how they whipped the skin off your back and rape your kids, rape you, rape everybody. If slavery couldn't teach you anything, then I have nothing to teach you. I have nothing I can say to you to change your mind. So I'm not going to try to do that. So I don't hate white people. I don't tell no black people to hate no white people. But you need to smarten up. You need to smarten up. So I'm not mad at white people for how they move. That's called self-preservation.
Absolutely, and I think that starts with. I think that starts with, and I could be wrong, but for me, it's starting with financial literacy. Okay, because when there are a lot of us in the communities that let's go back to the education. You're not taught things in school to go forth and live. Like you said, you're taught in these schools to go out and work. You're taught how to go out and find yourself a job. Basically, you're not taught how to do taxes.
Right.
You're not taught how to buy property.
No.
Okay. You're not taught how to sustain yourself. So what you really have to do is go out on your own and self-educate yourself on first of all financial literacy, okay, which is very important to me because when I was talking about gentrification and you were talking about why can't we move like that, part of that is we're not financially a lot of people are not financially literate enough to understand how to make those moves, and knowing that you don't have to be a billionaire to make those moves.
Right.
You have to know how to work the system. The system is there to be worked.
I read an article. I don't know if it was USA Today or Times mag article, but you can punch it up. It says, the headline is Financial Literacy, an American Problem. And let me tell you what that means. When they say it's an American problem, that means white people aren't getting it either. Okay, they don't know what to do either. So guess what? When white people catch a cold, black people catch pneumonia. All right? So if white people ain't financially literate, black people is in the dumps. Okay, it didn't say it's a black problem or it's a white problem. It's an American problem. So that means, like I just said, when white people catch a cold, black people catch pneumonia. All right, so when they're ready to admit that there's something wrong with white people, that's them telling you that something is a crisis in the black community.
Oh, absolutely.
It ain't a crisis in the white community. It's a problem right now. It's a problem that they don't have financial literacy, but it's a crisis in our community. That's how you read that. That's how you read that right there.
And let's understand that. Let's go back to the education factor of it, of educating ourselves.
Right.
With the financial literacy.
Right.
There are so many sources. Like you just said, you read an article in like USA Today or Forbes or something like that. People, if you don't want it, there's YouTube, there's podcasts. There are people out there that are giving you this information. They're giving you the game for free. If I need to do a podcast here to give people the game for free, I will do that. Okay, just hit me up and let me know. But I can direct you to some people, black and white, that are giving you the game. Yeah. So let me put a couple names out there that are giving you the real estate game. Jay Morrison giving you the real estate game for free. All right, Mark Whitten out of Baltimore. Actually, I'm very close friends with a lot of his friends that he grew up with, giving you the real estate game for free. All right, a lot of people are following those leads and going out and buying property. Maybe people can put their money together and buy a strip mall. Okay, and now these companies are paying the rent, and they'll pay. These companies paying your rent are going to pay your mortgage on this strip mall, right? So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I think of it like this. Like I think of a barbershop, right? I would love to own a barbershop. Why? Because I would love to. Because barbers pay rent on chairs, which in turn pays the rent on the building, right? You can charge what you want for rent. The barber's going to charge what they want for a haircut, and that's just that's how you work it out. The better the barber, the more they're going to charge. It just is what it is. All right, and you get your money and they pay for it. Now, financial literacy, it's one of those important things that sometimes people don't want to take the time to educate themselves, or they think it's too hard or too difficult. I'm one of those people that I'll admit I'm like, I don't consider myself the smartest person in the world. I'm no dummy, right? But I do know how to listen and how to apply things, right? If I don't do it right away, believe that my wheels are turning and playing. You and I talked about doing this show 2 years ago. Okay?
Right.
It was like 2 years ago we started, talking about doing this show. And here we are now. Right? And part of the plan for me with us doing the show was I want to do this show, but I don't want it to be by itself. Okay? For people that were listening, they just listened to the 10-7 show. A lot of people listening to the 10-7 show, and then here comes Let's Not Argue. Coming up at 9 o'clock, we have a Kobe tribute show from the TKO podcast. Okay? And we're not by ourselves. We're a community of shows. We're putting things together. And, there was some planning to go, but things are not – we live in a microwave society, but things don't move in the world like they move in the microwave. Right. You have to plan. You have to schedule some things. You got to get right, trial and error. There are things you got to do. So you got to be patient.
And when you
go ahead.
When you take a look at it, and I understand what you're saying when you say, people think it's too hard or it's too this. And me personally, I don't even think it's that. You have to travel back and even deeper because it's a lack of self-confidence. Lack of self-confidence will kill the entrepreneurial spirit
I saw you post
in a person.
Oh, yes, you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right.
All right, so they kill that from the time you were born. They attack that spirit because they do not want you. So we've always been skilled. We never had to go to college to build the pyramid or do anything in this world. Okay? Them people didn't go to Harvard to put them pyramids there. Them people didn't go to do astrology and all of this stuff that we were doing way before there was any colleges anywhere in the world. We were already doing mathematics and science. We were already doing that and being entrepreneurs. We were already doing that. So they built the school to fool you, to take your God-given wisdom away from you and then replace it with smarts and intelligence, which is a dumbed-down version of what God put in you, which is wisdom. You already know how to do this stuff. While you're in your mama's stomach, you're already planning. They are ahead of this game. They know that when you're in your mother's stomach, you are already planning for your arrival into the world and how you're going to be and what you're going to be. But the dogma of school and church and all of the crap your mama feeds you and your daddy feeds you tears you apart.
And let me
tears you apart.
Let me tell you, and sometimes we do it to ourselves, and I'm not saying like I do it to me. Sometimes we do it to our own people because a lot of people have that crabs in the barrel mentality. I think I made a post earlier. I think it was last week about eliminating that crabs in the barrel mentality. If I were a crab, and I see my man Sean here establishing his restaurant and doing and growing. I saw you go from the mere beginnings to what you have now, right? To where you are now, and still growing on top of that. If I had been a crab, I would have been the dude like, yo, that food ain't good. You know what I mean? That food ain't no good. Mm-hmm. He don't know what he's doing. He cooking the food. He don't know what he's talking about. Blah. Whatever the case may be. But I'm not a crab. But I'm sure there was somebody, whether you heard it or not. I'm sure there was probably somebody or some people that were like, nah, he ain't going to. He don't know what he's doing. That food ain't good.
Let me tell you why that is. Let me tell you what that is. They don't understand how to add value to themselves. The reason why I'm doing this show with you now, cuz, is because I believe in you. So when I believe in you, I added value to myself. When I add value to you, I add value to me. When I don't value you or I put you down, I put me down. Here we are both with, you have $1 in your pocket, I have $1 in my pocket. You say, man, I got this idea to do this podcast. You know, I'm going to do some other thing. I'm going to do 3 shows, as a matter of fact, back to back. I'm going to do some other thing. And then I say, wow, you know what? That ain't going to work. Man, them ideas is trash. We both remain poor. We both just keep $1 in our pocket. But when you tell me I'm going to do podcast.
I hope y'all heard that.
Okay? But when you tell me, man, I'm gonna do podcasts. I'm gonna do 3 of them back to back all night. We gonna run them. I'm gonna do baseball. I'm gonna do some, and then I got some. I'm gonna say, wow, what, man, you amazing. That's like some superhero stuff you doing, man. Cool, man. We got to do this. We really got to do. Now, you get rich and I get rich because I'm that close to you. Mm-hmm. I am too close to you to be putting you down. Okay, so now let's run it back to the crabs in the barrel. That crab is not tugging on his friend because he wants to pull him down. He knows the hot water is coming and he doesn't want to die. So when he sees his friend about to go over the edge, he's actually extending himself to be pulled over. To be pulled over. Okay? If I take you bring me with you. Because I know that the hot water is coming and they're going to eat me. Okay? It's not just because that's what crabs do. Crabs just pull. No, they don't. If I take you where crabs actually hang out by the seashore, you will see them playing. But they're not tugging on each other. They're not fighting each other. They're playing. They're running. They're having fun with each other because they're in their element. Okay? Who put the crabs in the bucket? They don't belong in a bucket. Who put them in the bucket? That's your problem right there. The person who put them in the bucket. Of course, I would tug at you when I know somebody about to pour hot water down my back.
That's why I got you on the show. That's why you here. That's why you here. I never heard nobody ever broke it down like that for me. Nobody ever broke it down like that. Of course. Man. Okay, your mama tug at you if she knows she about to get hot water poured on her back and you about to run away. I would tug at your leg, at your ankle too. When you go take me with you because they about to pour water, hot, steaming, and kill me. That crabs don't just tug it because that's what crabs do. It's the same with pigs. People say, oh, pigs are filthy animals. No, they're not. If you put them in clean water, they're playing clean water. But the farmer just keep them in mud and dirt. So, of course, they're going to feel like, oh, well, this is all we get, so I guess we got to play in this dirt. This is all the food he giving us is trash, so I guess we got to eat trash. I'm not going to starve to death, and I got to wash up, so I guess I just wash up with the mud. But if I take you to where pigs honestly live, they play in clean water, and they have a cleaner diet than what they are trying to. This is all about trickery. There's no such thing as crabs don't belong in a barrel. Case closed. Of course. Very true. If I put you in a cage with something else that close, at some point y'all will start fighting. Because I don't belong here. Right. I do not belong here. How about that?
Okay, so we gotta stop taking their turn, their saying, and we gotta flip it. We gotta absolutely flip it, man. We got to flip this thing all the way around. They have reversed us. Man. Actually, you know what school does?
What's that?
It educates you not according to reality.
What you mean?
We are being educated not conducive with our reality. The education, it doesn't serve what we actually facing outside of the school.
Right, okay, gotcha. Right.
A black child has to be educated differently than a white child because we have different problems to solve in the world. There's no way I can be educated at the same time with a white child. I have different problems. I'm coming in with different baggage. I'm coming in with different. It's like trying to make a handicapped person play basketball the same way as a person with no handicaps. That's not in a wheelchair. I have different things I have to do. I have different things. We can't learn the same thing at the same time. This is impossible. I have different problems to solve. You cannot teach me the same. You cannot elevate us over the same time with the same thing. I have different issues. I'm not being educated properly to the problems that I have to solve. This is why they have never been solved. This is why it's 2020 and we still crying and talking about the same things from way back when the civil rights movement was happening. So obviously they gave you civil rights, right? How many years? 60 years ago you had civil rights. Why it's 2020? You still it's the same thing. So it didn't work. It didn't work. I don't care how many civil rights you got. I want you to go right now tonight. If you're listening, everybody, I want you to go down to the Ritz-Carlton. Tell them you want the most expensive room they got, top floor suite. You want the suite. And you want lobster, steak, shrimp, rice, crab. You want it all. And when they say, how you going to pay for this, I want you to say, oh, I'm going to pay for this with my civil rights. I bet you they throw your ass off the highest roof downtown. All right, you need money.
Right.
You need money. Right. And they took that from you a long time ago. They used your labor for free to build everything. Every building that's erect, black people build it. If it's standing up, so black people build it. Okay, they brought you here for your labor.
Let me talk to you about this.
Your labor. Go ahead.
Since you bring that up, right? I didn't plan on going here, but we're here, so we might as well talk about it.
Yep.
I have. There's a lot of talk about reparations, especially with the presidential election about to go on, or the candidates are running right now for the Democrats, whatever, to run against the incumbent and all like that. Anyway, the term reparations comes up. The topic of reparations comes up, and it seems like they like to more so talk to Bernie Sanders about it because of some of the things that he's talked about in the past. I'm not here to talk about the candidates. I'm not worried about the candidates. The reparations, because like you said, the country was basically built on our backs. We weren't paid for that. The 40 acres in the middle didn't happen. Are reparations? Do you feel like reparations? I have my own feelings, and I'll tell you what they are. But do you feel like reparations are necessary? And how would you go about distributing reparations to people, if you feel like they're necessary?
I mean, I it's very simple how I look at life, man. I never look at it in a complex way. It's very simplistic. It's very simple. If you loan me $1,000 today, and now I owe you $1,000, who am I to now look at you and ask you, well, what you going to do with the money when I give it back to you? You owe me. Just give me my money. I don't care if you buy crack with it. I don't care if I buy hair. I don't care what you buy. I don't care. It's my money. You owe me my money. Give me my money. You don't have the right to then try to make sure what I'm going to do with my money after I done built this whole thing for you for free. Now you want to say, oh, I would give you your check, but I ain't sure what you going to do with it. What you ain't sure of is that I'm going to take this money and do for self and cut you out and cut your family off and cut your wealth off. Okay? Who knows what black people going to do with their money? We could be just playing stupid. Oh, yeah, I'm going to give it right back to you, white man. I'm going to go and buy me some Nikes, and don't worry, I'm buying me some Rolexes. You'll get it back and then get it and flip the whole thing on them. I don't know what black people going to do with their check, but it's owed to them. Give it to them. I don't care it ain't up to me to tell you what to do with you are owed that. You ain't going to allow me to tell you, oh, I know dude over there owe you 10 grand, but I don't think you're going to do right with the 10 grand when he give it back, so I don't think you should get it. Oh, you going to say that after I loan him the 10 grand, and now we got rules and regulations now. Oh, now we got rules. After I give him my money, in our sense, after we give them our labor for 300, 400, 500 years and build everything for them, because we have nothing for us. Absolutely, we don't have no school, we don't have no bank, we don't have no markets, we don't have nothing. We build everything for everybody else, and now we say, all right, let us in, cut us in. Can I get my check now? Oh, no. Go to your job tomorrow and see if your boss don't have your check. See if you don't burn that bitch down. Where my check? Oh, I ain't got it. I thought you was going to go buy some red bottoms and Rolexes, so I figured I wasn't going to cut you this check. Even though you work for it, I don't know what you're going to do. I don't think you're going to do what I want you to do with it, so I'm not going to give you your 80 hours.
Shoot, let me be missing a couple of hours on my check, and I'm having a fit. I'm telling you right now.
Look at your check and see 2 missing. You be like, hold up, wait, this light, this wrong. All right, so you don't even deserve to sit in that seat to tell somebody what to do. I don't care if they buy crack with it. It's theirs. I don't give a shit. It's theirs. Excuse my language.
They're gonna do what they're gonna do. So let me run my idea past you, because I think of it a little differently than most. Okay, and this is my idea, and I don't know how many times I put out in public, but not many. Okay, my idea is not in the form of a check. Okay, and let me explain to you why, and I'm going to explain to you what it is, what my idea is. Because a check is a one-time thing, right? The way people talk about it. Okay, so it's a one-time thing. So you and I get a check. And then, it's up to us to do the smart thing with it, so that money lasts, right? However, the labor that was done that built this country went on for hundreds of years, right? Yep. So they were able to build. My idea, and just let me know what you think about this, because I like I said, I haven't put it out there publicly, but so many times. My idea would be income taxes and property taxes. Black folks do not have to pay. So you don't pay income tax, you don't pay property tax. So you work when you get your check from your job, so you're still working, right? You get your check from your job, the income taxes are not taken out. All right, you still pay your medical and all like that if you want to go to that, if you so choose, because you can actually opt not pay your medical and you don't have to worry about it. Property taxes. Why do I say property taxes? Because, well, we were property, and what was built was a lot of property on our backs for free that was not paid for. So let us get that same.
And what people don't understand is you are still property. That Constitution never changed. It's still there.
Yeah, yes, it is. You're
the pursuit of life, liberty, and property was the first one. And black people were the property. Now it's life, liberty, and happiness. What makes them happy? Owning your ass.
So
that's what makes them happy.
So
they haven't been happy since they let the slaves away. They've been angry ever since. So now, black people shouldn't have to pay for anything. It's already paid for. Not just property tax and medical tax. Everything should be free. Everything. Everywhere you go. Movies. Everything. Everything, because they built wealth off of you doing it for free. So now that they got all the money and they own all the land and everything, they own 80%, 87% of it, and there's a lot. You can't even get it. We can't even buy it from them. We fighting over 13% of the land with Asians, Arabs, Jews, and everybody else. Only 13% left. So we can't even get to it. It's locked in box for white people. They got it and they ain't giving it up because that's their wealth. Okay, cool. Y'all got 87. Now, for black, we shouldn't pay for anything. Gas, nothing. Everything should be free. Everything. It's free. That's the least we can do for y'all, because you helped me take care of generations of my families for generations. Their grandbabies, great. I never have to ever get a job. They got children that don't even know how to spell job. Never even heard of it. What's the job? Queen Elizabeth, her kids don't know how to spell job. What's that? They never saw a typewriter before. They never had to write a paper for college. They ain't never been to school. Don't know what that is. Only we know these things, because that's for poor people. Economy, that's for poor people. Ain't no economy, that's for poor people. That's poor people stuff.
So we got about 10 minutes left, and I want to
okay.
We got to get out at 9 because we got another show coming on at 9 o'clock. Kobe Bryant tribute done by the TKO podcast, Trending with Keisha and Ori. Make sure you check them out here. And after that, around 9:30, we have the live Kobe tribute. We're going to talk a little bit more Kobe Bryant. I wanted to ask your opinion on this. Jussie Smollett, they decided to revamp these charges, not revamp these charges, but bring these charges back up to Jussie Smollett. He's actually got to go to court. That whole situation was kind of crazy, right? And from the rip, I wasn't buying it from the rip, right? I just wasn't. Like, there was too many things in that story that was like, that just didn't really fill in the blanks for me. Okay, and for instance, these guys are walking around. These guys just happen to be walking around in the middle of the night in Chicago in the wintertime with a noose or some rope. Okay, kind of weird to me. I guess it's possible, but they also just happen to be walking around with some bleach too. You know, certain things just didn't add up for me. Okay, and from the rip, I was just like, I don't know. I'm not really sure. I just wanted to get your opinion on that, being that we have a few minutes left in the show. Just wanted to get your opinion on that.
That's just a nutty situation of, to me, if we just gonna take it for face value, it's just it was an attention-seeking move, to try to make himself look like a martyr or something, and it just didn't. It didn't work. It didn't pan out the way, I guess in his mind he thought it was going to go. So that's just that's just a nutty situation, man. It's like sometimes I don't even know what to think about that, man. You know what I mean? It's just crazy, man. It's just wild, man. It's just wild. But if I could end the show, I would end the show with this. Before
you end the show, I wanted to do something with you today. And we got about 7 minutes left in the show, so we'll make it this quick.
Okay.
You are a vegan, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Explain to me, in the best way you can, the difference between being a vegan and being a vegetarian.
So being a vegan means you don't consume any animal products whatsoever. No dairy, no cheese.
Okay.
In any way, no fish. Even if it's animal tested, you ain't messing with. Even if it's, honey, bee, no animal at all.
Really? Honey, no honey, huh?
No honey. If it pees, poops, or have sex, we don't eat it. We don't eat it. Vegetarians, they still, eat eggs or fish, cheese, stuff like that.
Really?
And a bunch of soy. So right now, vegetarians are the number one cancer group in the world. And people say, wow, well, people say, well, I thought they ate so healthy. And well, yeah, they do, but they eat a lot of soy because they always trying to replace their craving for meat. And that soy, that tempeh and tofu is tearing their asses up. It's tearing them up.
That tofu and that soy,
they're not
even supposed to eat that. They're not supposed to consume that stuff.
Oh, no. So that's the difference. It's just, not saying being vegan is just going to spell the healthiest life for you, because vegans still eat junk food, but it's just no animal. There's no animal involved in whatever they're eating. All the animal is completely, is not even involved in it at all. So you won't see no eggs, no dairy, no fish, all that type of stuff in any of their products that they eat. Whatever.
The vegan diet is a lot more strict than the vegetarian diet.
Yes, way stricter. A lot more strict than vegetarian.
We got 5 minutes left in the show, and I want you to end it with what you wanted to end it with, but go ahead and plug the restaurant again.
401 Fayette Street, Conshohocken, PA. That's Go Vegan Philly. On Facebook, Go Vegan _Philly. On Instagram, you can Google us. Vegan restaurants, we pop right up. Probably the first thing that pop right up. Go Vegan Philly. You can Google it. We come up right there. We're open from Wednesday to Saturday. We're strictly dinner as of right now. We're open from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. We have comedy shows. We have wine and paint. We have restaurant game night. We have karaoke. We have a lot of great things. We even have other, businesses within ours, products and things that we do for other small black businesses and stuff. And it's been a blast, man. It's been great. And my mission has been to try to pull more and more, African Americans, blacks, over to this diet, man, because I believe we got to cleanse, we got to fix from the inside, then out. You know what I mean? So a lot of people talk about society, but they forget that society is within you, not without. So this society, when people say, oh, it's society doing it, and society starts within. So if my house is dirty, whose house is it? You have to clean it. You have to clean it.
Yes.
It's your work, right? You have to clean it. So, and when I ended with this. What I get, the inspiration and what I get from the story of Jesus Christ, when I read it, what I get from it is, it doesn't matter if you make yourself the martyr. It doesn't matter, because all you're going to do is get nailed to the cross, and all that's going to do is get you nailed to the cross and other people nailed to the cross. So we'll be in this position for another 3,000 years if we keep thinking by not fighting back, we're going to do better. You are not. You're only going to get more people nailed to the cross. And it's been effed up ever since then, if we're going to believe that story, if we're going to read it. So when I read it, that's what I see. Doesn't matter if you try to be this martyr and allow yourself to be nailed to a cross. All you're going to get is nailed to the cross, and then all of your family nailed to it too. Because you got brothers that died the same way. And nothing has changed.
Well, there you have it.
Nothing has changed.
There you have it. For this episode of Let's Not Argue with Dope DNA, Mr. Sean Thomas and myself, Jay Chris. I want to thank you for checking us out, man. Make sure you check us out on the on Neutrals Radio, neutralsradio.com, and the Neutrals Radio app. Download the Neutrals Radio app from the Google Play Store, and check us out on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and all the places that you can check out a podcast. We are definitely there. And for all my entrepreneurs out there and my wannabe entrepreneurs, and I don't say that in a negative way. If you want to be I'm a wannabe entrepreneur. I'm leading towards that. Make sure that you go out and and keep your confidence, like Sean just said. Keep your confidence about you. All right. Not everybody's going to support you. All right, but you got to make sure you continue to support yourself. And
we all want to be entrepreneurs, but the difference is the action. The action makes you one. Until then, we're all wannabes until we put that action in.
There you have it.
You know what I mean? It's like a killer. You know, you can stand on the corner all day and talk about who you're going to kill until you actually kill somebody. You ain't no killer.
Right. I ain't no killer.
That's
Don't
that.
push me.
You feel me? So we all want to be entrepreneurs, but until you put that foot forward and take that action, then you're an entrepreneur. When you put that sacrifice out there, then it's on.
There you have it. Well, look.
So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. You have nothing to lose.
Absolutely. Coming up next, you got the TKO podcast, Trending with Keisha and Ori with the Kobe Bryant tribute. Make sure you stick around for that. And thank you, Sean, for joining us again for this show. And we'll be talking to you next week, man. We'll talk to you on Let's Not Argue.
Yes, sir.
And we won't be arguing next week. All
Let's
right?
do it.
Keep it locked, Neutrals Radio. Peace.